Hi everyone, welcome to Power video lectures. Myself M. Krishna, working as Assistant Professor in EEE Department, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. Here in this video, I am going to explain about series inverter. Series inverter, the name itself sensing something. This inverter is called series inverter because commutation components like L and C permanently connected in series with the load R. Series circuit must be underdamped one, that the XL is greater than the XC, means inductive nature is more as compared to capacitive nature, and current attends to 0, taking the sine signal. And due to this nature of series circuit, the commutation takes place without any external circuit designing to the thyristor T1 and T2. So it is also classified as self-commutated inverter and load-commutated inverter. Here in this video we are going to discuss load-commutated inverter because we are keeping the commutation components at the load side. And this series inverter is operating at high frequency values, right from 2000 Hz to 1000 kHz. And these series inverters are having the applications like lighting system and electric heating. So we'll look into the details. This is series inverter which we are able to see in the slide. The configuration involves the two thyristors, thyristor T1 and thyristor T2. And this is the load circuit. This is the R is the load, and in series with the R we are keeping the commutated components like L and C. And as I said, this circuit is working under damped condition, means there is a dominating of L compared to C. Hence the inductive reactance plays vital role here to generate the current wave in proper manner. And this series inverter operation involves three modes. We will see them one by one. In the first mode, this is the first mode of operation. So we are going to turn on the thyristor T1, whereas thyristor T2 is not at all participating in the operation in mode 1. And the current which is flowing through T1, we are calling that as IT1. That current is flowing through like this and back to the source. And one more information is that our capacitor having the initial voltage minus VCO before starting the thyristor T1. Then after, when the current passing through these components, then there is a voltage across the inductor, voltage across the capacitor, and current flowing through the circuit. We'll be able to see in the diagrams. Look at these diagrams. Ig1 means the gate signal providing to the thyristor T1. Ig2 means gate signal providing to the thyristor T2. Thyristor T2 is not participating in the operation in this mode. That's why not indicating anything for the thyristor T2. And this is I0 current. So soon after T1 switches, it allows the current to flow like this. Means we are calculating the current flowing through the R like this. This is going to be taking the wave like this because we are keeping one inductor and operating in underdamped mode condition. That's why We know one property of inductor, that it doesn't allow the sudden change in current. That's why it is getting the shape like this. The same manner, what happened when it is increasing the voltage across, look at this, the voltage across inductor is going to be reducing. When the current increases to maximum value, the voltage across inductor going to be 0. When after that it is decaying to 0 value, thereby the voltage across inductor reaching to minus values. It is minus Vs value. In the same manner, the capacitance is already there, negative voltage minus VCO, and this is going to be minus VCO value is going to be vanished because the current feeding into the component is reverse direction. Thereby it's going to be 0 negative values, and it's going to be charged by changing its polarities from positive side. Upper plate is positive and lower plate is negative, and it is increasing to Vs, and after that VCO value means the voltage across capacitor which is going to be developed will be the value Vs plus VCO. Till this point you can see this here, the current flowing through the load is going to be 0 here, and we can able to see the input current also, source current and load current both are same. That's why the both currents are having the same shape. Soon the thyristor, what we say, the current going to 0 value, that the thyristor 1 is going to be off immediately. That what we say, the circuit here what we place at the load side, making the thyristor T1 off without any external circuit is required to turn off it. We'll see the second mode here in this case from A to B in the next slide. Here we are indicating one frequency, that ringing frequency in radians per second. This ringing frequency is from this portion 0 to A. We'll see the mode 2 operation. In mode 2 operation, see our thyristor T1 is already off because the current going to be 0 naturally because of placing the commutated components in the load side. Then after we are not triggering T2 thyristor, means no one thyristor in the configuration is in on state during the mode 2 operation. In that case, what happened, the output current is already maintaining the 0 value. If it is maintaining 0 value, the voltage across inductor is going to be 0 from its negative value till it's maintained the 0, till the current is 0, and our capacitor still waiting for supply the power to the circuit, and it is stores the energy and maintaining its value in this duration. And we can say that there is one more frequency, we can say omega equal to output frequency in radian per second. This is the duration up to 0 to B, but ringing frequency is there up to 0 to A, and this TQ is nothing but a circuit turn off time. The circuit turn off time is calculated like this, pi by omega minus pi by omega r. Then we'll see the mode 3. In mode 3 operation, now what happened is input side T1 is already off now, so there is no connection between input supply and rest of the circuit. Now our capacitor plays vital role in supplying the energy to the circuit. Now the current is flowing like this in this direction and entering into thyristor T2. Now until the gate signal is applying to thyristor T2, it won't conduct. Then we are immediately applying the gate signal to the thyristor T2. Look at this in this mode. In the mode 3 operation, we are applying gate signal to the thyristor T2. Thereby what happened? As compared to the current direction in the load circuit as in the previous case, now it is flowing in reverse direction. reaching to maximum value. And as I said, the capacitor plays a vital role in supplying the energy to the circuit, thereby it's going to be discharging until this point. And when we see this peak value, the inductor is also going to be charging in positive side. And when you see the waveform for the source side, source is disconnected for the during for these two modes of operation. That's why there is no source current. Then after this mode 3 operation, again mode 2 operation comes into action, and as soon as this current reaching to 0 value, this T2 is going to be opened, means going to be off, and this voltage across the inductor maintains the Vs plus Vc value, and this voltage across the capacitor will be minus Vc as same as the mode before the mode 1 operation. After that, again mode 2 operation comes into action, that we'll see here in this case. So after mode 3 operation, again mode 2 operation comes, then T1 is already in off condition. Now the T2 is also becoming off because of this current reaching to 0 at C point, and it is maintaining 0 value, thereby the voltage across inductor is also going to be 0, and it is maintaining Vc value, minus Vc value. Then mode 1 operation comes into action. In the mode 1 operation, that's T1 is triggered. Due to that, the input is providing the supply to the circuit, that is to the load, and in that case, because of underdamped operation, the current wave takes this shape, and the capacitor stores the energy, stores the voltage, or builds up the voltage up to Vs plus Vco. And as we know, this voltage across inductor is going to be reduced to reaching the minus values, and the current wave for the source is having the same shape of the output current. This is the whole thing about the series inverter. Thank you for watching this video.